Hey, welcome back to Big Boy. Hopefully you're going to see all this and hear me clearly enough. I wanted to take a minute or two to go through where we're at. It's the 12th of May and the Germans won initially, which was kind of cool. It was a close roll, 5-4. But that means they get this back-to-back move, which happened historically, so that's kind of fun. Now, what we had done in the last turn was landed the 7th FJ Division or Regiment, whatever it is, here and various other places, and then captured this airfield and brought in the 22nd Luftlandde, and that also then moved. In the beginning of the turn, I had, and I'll try to not wave my hand around too much because I think it makes the camera refocus. Beginning of the turn, I had started moving some of the 9th, some of the 4th Panzer, I think it was, maybe the 3rd Panzer, I don't know. Some units here, and I had some of the 20th motorized here, and I really created kind of a problem for myself because I couldn't get fuel to these guys because I had an enemy zone of control in the way. And one of the other things that had occurred in the prior turn, in turn 1, was we put a commando on this fortress here and landed paratroopers right here, successfully rolled to destroy the fortress. Well, that allowed us, and then we attacked this hex here and cleared that hex. That allowed us, this guy was here at the end of the turn, that allowed us to, on the second turn, move in and formally capture that fortress, which then allowed me to fuel up some guys. I then fueled some guys up, I should say, and then motored up along here and put artillery or armored cars adjacent to these two towns. That's Den Haag, and this is whatever that is, Amsterdam or Rotterdam, maybe. I can't read it from here. Yeah, Rotterdam, Amsterdam. So what that does then is trigger the Dutch surrender roll. And with one of the, I moved this 22nd unit in here before I did all that. He's in a major city hex that gives us a +1 to our roll, which means that we can, if I roll a 5, that made it a 6, so it's a definite surrender. Now the only other mitigating factor is if there are enough units, French units, within 5 hexes of this spot, then there's a -1 to the die roll. And unfortunately there's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This stack and this stack are the only stacks that count towards aiding the non-surrender of the Dutch. So the Dutch surrender near the very beginning of the second turn, I should say. So that's kind of cool. That means next turn, all of these forces at the end of the turn will just come off the board. They defend in place at the moment. So if we wanted to try and capture SP, I guess we could, but we're not really going to do that. We have to leave 10 steps behind as garrison. So what you do is actually move them off the map, and they have to come from the paratroopers or the Luftlandde guys first, if possible, if they're in the Netherlands. Given that I've already moved all these guys, I'm not going to go back and redo the move so I can sneak them out of Holland into Belgium or something silly like that. So we're just going to eat the 10 steps, which is fine by me. So that's kind of the interesting beginning of the turn. I have then since started strat moving units to meander up this way so that we can begin a push from here. Since I already have 3rd Panzer and parts of the 20th in this area, we're going to consolidate forces and look for an opportunity to start moving down here. But the rest of these forces here, I'm going to sweep around to here and focus on our efforts on attacking into Belgium at Hasselt. and hopefully that will allow us to break open. Now, last turn we also I made a mistake in this combat at Maastricht, and I had treated the number on there as a number of steps as opposed to the I treated it as the number of steps and as the combat factor, when in fact it's just the combat factor and there's only one step. So we had in fact destroyed the fortress here, and we need to put a level 1 hedgehog there. We know it's destroyed, so we're not going to worry about it. We'll just leave it there for now, because I don't think I have any hedgehogs handy. So that means at the beginning of turn 2 we were able to do some penetration with the infantry and expand our breakthrough and begin the encirclement of Liege from the north as opposed to from the south. So that was kind of fun as well. I have not done any of this end of the map. Anyway, that's all I want to share with you. Show you that the Dutch surrendered on the 12th of May, and we're off to the races. Hey guys, I'm back on the squeaky chair, as you can probably tell. I almost made a huge mistake. For some reason I got focused on crossing at the actual Sedan crossing, which is right here. And in reality there's a railroad right here that we can use to cross at. And we're in combat phase now, so I mulliganed my move. I didn't see this railway line here. And we're going to use a combined set of units. I'm not going to try and rejig everybody and put them back where they were, although I probably could actually reconstruct it from a photograph I took earlier. Nevertheless, short story is we DG'd this with a airstrike, and we now have enough factors here to put some pain on that particular fort, and it will be 10.5 factors attacking one factor with a 5 AR versus a 2 AR. And if we pop those numbers into the little system, 1, that's a 2 AR, 1 hog, very close, resolve it. Oh, it's good enough. To lose 1, option 1. So that destroys the fort. If I want to advance into the hex, I have to take the option, so I've got to lose a unit. That's going to be expensive because I've got a lot of my best guys. So we'll take this guy that we use the action rating for out. So we're going to lose this dude, and we then get to advance into that hex. And that's the only major attack I'm doing this turn. Actually, those guys are also in that hex as well. There's not more than 10 regimental equivalents in that hex, believe it or not. Lots of battalions. Well, that was an expensive loss, but nevertheless, we're across the Meuse, and now we have reserve movement. I've got a couple of reserve guys just back in that stack here. I've got one here, one here. They'll at least get fairly close to crossing over this turn. So the